as far as a plan, I never had a formal business plan.
Mhm.
I always tell them, not for any business.
Right.
Some people may say, oh, that's not.
Well, you know what? You not formally on paper,
Yeah.
but you did have a plan because you were listening to the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, and
So,
that's what I
that
tell
was your
people.
plan,
If
right?
you want mentorship with me, it's not going to be just
Paper, pencil,
yeah,
right?
because it's not even that
Mhm.
easy or that simple. So a lot of people, oh, I need a business plan.
Mhm.
No, you need to seek God.
Right.
And the Bible says, write the vision and make it plain.
Plain.
So what he's saying, he's not saying write your vision.
Wow, that's good.
He's saying write the vision that I'm giving you, right?
Mhm.
Because I tell people, he places the vision. It's
Mhm.
God that places the vision in you.
Hi guys, welcome to Fashion Mix. I am Donna M., your host and owner of Donna M. Collection, a platform all about adding value and substance to your life. And the way we do that is by building your fashion journey. And so what we're going to do is talk about fashion, of course. We're going to offer you style tips and hacks, and we're going to reveal to you how you can save money building your wardrobe. And the best part of it all, the favorite part of it all, is that you get to see what we have in the boutique. Secondly, we're going to build your self-confidence by bringing in amazing guests from various industries and all walks of life that's going to share the good, the bad, and the ugly of their story. And lastly, you get to walk away equipped with other information and tools to help you with whatever journey you're on and to build the lifestyle you desire. So if you are here, that tells me you are looking to level up in your confidence and your fashion journey. So welcome to Fashion Mix. Before we jump into it, I want to just share today our look of the day. It's our baby girl jumper. So when you go to the website, just look for baby girl jumper. It does come in small, medium, and large, and it will be available for rent. Okay. One of the things that I do like about this jumper is the color. The color is just radiant.
That's nice.
Green is one of the colors for spring 2023. And as a matter of fact, I love all of the colors, but green is definitely one of those colors for spring 2023. Now, if I had to say anything specifically about this look, I love the fact that it's off shoulder. Mm-hmm. As you can see, I'm wearing it on both shoulders, but you can actually wear it on one shoulder if you like, either side, it doesn't matter. And one thing that I do like about wearing off shoulders is that it gives a sexy look. Mm-hmm. For someone like me that's over 50, I definitely like staying sexy, but you know, I have to do it in moderation. Would you agree to that?
Yes. I love a little off the shoulder.
I know that we spoke briefly about your style, and you like being comfortable. Mm-hmm. But would you say this is something that you would definitely wear?
Definitely. I'm about to purchase that like today.
Okay. I just read a sale, huh? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So with this jumper, as I was saying, it's actually all pleats, and as you can see, the top part of it has like one layer of ruffle, but it does come with a matching belt, and it also has elastic in the waist for, you know, anybody that needs more room.
Yes.
The top actually has elastic, and I think that's great for individuals that has broad shoulders.
Yes.
So tell me, where would you wear this look, and how would you style it?
I would wear this. I mean, this look is good for anything. Like, I feel like date nights, special events, speaking. You know, I like to wear colors that kind of pop.
Right.
That's kind of like my personality.
Right.
Real bright, and you know, I used to wear a lot of dark colors, but now I'm not on the dark colors no more. So
I can relate to that because I was a dark color person. The neutral colors was more of my I guess forte at one time for a very, very long time. So I definitely can relate to that. And now you can't get me out of color.
Right.
But I think one thing that I would actually do to this, add to this jumper is it does have a matching belt. However, you can add a different belt.
Yeah.
I tell my customers all the time, you know, just mix and match it up. You'll be surprised how it takes the look up to another level. And so I agree with everything that you're saying. Date night. I'm even thinking maybe an outside waiting, an inside waiting. Yeah. So what I'm going to do today, guys, for the next 3 days as a bonus, the first 10 people that actually subscribe to my channel will definitely get 15% off. But you need to comment, I am in the chat.
Yes.
So comment, I am in the chat. And then I also need for you to email me at info@donnamcollection.shop, your email address, so that you can get your individualized discount code. So that's our look of the day. And so I'm going to just go ahead and get started with Miss Sharmin, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You talked a little bit about your style. You talked a little bit about, you gave us some great tips on where you would wear this outfit. So let's talk about you. I know that you're a mother of two, a senior pastor of Activate Church. You're a certified life coach and a serial entrepreneur.
Yes, yes.
Now, I came to know you actually as a result of your salon suites. You were known as the connoisseur here in Charleston, South Carolina. And so that's how I came to know you. And I actually reached out to a mutual friend of ours because I had some questions.
I remember.
Of course, you remember? Okay.
Keisha.
Yeah, right, Keisha, exactly. And so I reached out to her and I told her, I had some questions. I mean, because she's really doing it big here in Charleston. So she would definitely be the person that I need to speak to. But tell us, how did this all start for you?
Ooh, girl. I'm going to try to make a long story short.
Okay.
But I started, as a little girl, I always wanted to do hair.
Okay.
So everything stemmed from that.
Okay.
I went to school for it. I did it through my high school. When I got out of high school, I was already licensed.
Okay.
When I graduated,
Awesome.
I was a licensed cosmetologist. So I started out in my career, in my field, that was my passion. Like hair was just my passion. Like I didn't want to do anything else, but not knowing that that was just the start of it.
Right.
Never imagined that I would be where I am today.
Right.
So once I got into my field, I was doing it. And then finally, I was like, well, now it's time for me to get my own salon. That was about 7 years in. So I've been already doing hair for 7 years before I got my first salon. Got my first salon. That was successful. I was there for 5 years.
Okay.
And then God began to deal with me about expansion.
Wow.
And on to the next thing.
Right.
Found a building. It didn't make sense for me to move to that building because my salon was in Latson on College Park Road. And this building that I found was in Moncks Corner.
Okay.
But how many of you know when it's a faith thing, most of the time it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
So in my natural mind, I was like, I don't see it. Why are you moving me to Moncks Corner? It doesn't make sense. But not knowing that was just the beginning and that was going to launch me into destiny.
Exactly.
Right? So I ended up moving to Moncks Corner. My first salon was 700 square feet. This next building that I got was 2,200 square feet.
Wow,
okay?
that's a big jump.
Yeah.
But it was a faith move, right?
Correct. So I went from paying $750 in rent to paying $2,200. Right? And it was just all faith. So this building that I got, it was set up as suites.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And I have 10 suites there.
Wow.
So that was the start of it. So that was the first one. I was the first person in Moncks Corner with salon suites. Period. Nobody was there. Right. And when I got there, God began to show me why He sent me there.
Right.
Because He will give you foresight on where to go. So He began to show me, like, well, you see that Chick-fil-A and Starbucks is there, right? And if you know anything about them, Chick-fil-A and Starbucks don't go just anywhere.
That is true.
They look at the demographics. They look at the 10-year plan.
That is true.
To see if this area is even fit for us to come here, if we're going to make the revenue, if we're going to make the, right? So God began to show me, if they can see that, why can't you see that?
Exactly.
Right? So He literally showed me that. So He put me there. That was 2018.
Wow.
Before the growth came, right? So now you see, with Moncks Corner is just blowing up.
It is.
Now. It's 2023, So that was the first one. The next one we opened after that was Somerville location.
Okay.
we started. It's a 2-story building. We started with the downstairs. The downstairs got full, and that became a popular location, and then more space became available upstairs, so we expanded upstairs.
Wow.
So now we literally have 3 phases at Somerville. So that's about 10, 16, 17, 18, about 20 suites there.
Wow.
Okay. So after that was North Charleston, and then Goose Creek.
Wow.
So we have 4 locations now of suites, and it's just been successful. And I love it because I've inspired many others in the area to branch out to do the same thing. And I love to see it. It's not really competition for me. It's just like they call me. They actually call me and ask me how to do it.
Right.
And I help them.
Right.
Because it's enough for all of us.
Right.
So that's kind of how that got started with the suites. And, you know, I just know that because I didn't know that he was setting me up for ministry. And in ministry, you have to be available. Right. So with the suites, this is like my passive income. Right. I don't have to be there. You know, when I was behind the chair.
That's different. Exactly.
That took up all my time.
Right.
But now I got to be available.
Right. Exactly.
So I love it. Okay. That's the short version, y'all.
Okay.
Very short.
So that was a great version. Yes, I was going to ask you because my thought was at some point you were a hairstylist. And so that's awesome. We never know the direction that God is always going to take us in, and so it's just all about being obedient. And so you were, and just watch how God just ordered your steps every step of the way. Now, as a certified coach, what areas of coaching do you offer?
Every area.
Every area. Okay.
So before I got certified, I was doing business coaching. Okay. Trinice knows because she did some of my video footage when I was first getting started. So in my business coaching, I always tell people that it's not cookie cutter.
That is true.
So what I found was happening was as I'm doing this business coaching, we're doing spiritual, business, relationship, like all of it in my business coaching. And it just was naturally coming. So I hadn't had my certification yet. So once I got my certification and I started studying, I'm like, man, because they break down the different areas. Right. And I was like, man, this is what I'm already doing. And I didn't know that was a part of life coaching. Right. Right? So, yeah, we cover everything in my coaching. So, you know, whatever they come to me for, I'll try to focus on that. Right. But once you start talking to a person, you know, Holy Spirit just leads you. Right. And if I have to say something about your relationship or spiritual life, because to me it all intertwines. Comes together. Exactly. You can't really have one without the other.
That is so true. Yeah. That is so true. And I'm glad that you said that because that's exactly what I was thinking about. I guess during my journey, I began to realize that, you know, if you have personal issues that's going on in your life, it's going to affect your business. Yes. And so it's real vital for you to get coaching, get with the right person as far as the coaching is concerned, so that, you know, you'll be whole in every area of your life. Because you don't want to have a good, personally, if your personal life is not intact, then your business is not going to be intact. Right. So you want to be, you know, you want to have the whole package. Right. You want to have the whole package. Definitely. So now, interior design, I came across that. I was on Facebook. I'm like, what in the world? I said, she is really doing it big. And I love it. So now, how did you fit that in?
Ooh, child. I don't know. It's like after, so I started it while I was still behind the chair. And actually, I was doing it for years just for like friends and just kind of dibbling in it, but I didn't take it seriously as a business. And it was during COVID that I actually made it a real business. Like I created my LLC and got everything, and it was officially Grace Design Company. Right. And so at that time I was still behind the chair, and then I just started getting so many bookings. Wow. And like we were so busy with design projects, And that's when God started leading me from behind the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, man, I can't do both.
Right.
I can't be behind the chair
Right.
and try to focus on this business, right? So I just tell people my passion shifted from hair to design.
Right.
To design. So it's been good. It's been amazing. I'm just a person, like, I love transformations, period.
Exactly.
When I was doing hair, I love the transformations of
you
hair.
saw, right.
That people that came in there,
Right.
busted and
Exactly.
disgusted and like, just transforming them. And now I do the same thing with houses. Our slogan is we turn houses into homes.
Okay.
So literally we go to a house and it's like pretty much nothing in there.
Right.
Like, they have their furniture, but that's it. So we bring in we make it into a home.
Okay.
So when people walk in, they're like, now this feels like
right.
home. Now
right.
this feels like home. So
right. Now you mentioned COVID. I think during that period, everybody had to pivot. I mean, you just had to think really fast as to how you were going to maintain your current living situation. And so I looked at COVID, even though we lost a lot of lives, I look at COVID as an opportunity for us to not just pivot, but to get closer to God, just to reevaluate our life, just everything. And so to me, COVID was a blessing in disguise.
It was.
Now, I'm a HGTV lover. Child, listen, I don't get an opportunity to watch TV as much, but that is the station, and I actually fell in love with it.
Yes.
One of my favorite is Married to Real Estate, Egypt. I think she started out on a different.
Egypt had a few shows.
Okay. But now her and her husband have actually branched out on their own, and so I actually love it. And so it's like sometimes I'm sitting in the house and trying to, decide on how to, redecorate this thing or redecorate that thing.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, to me, I don't know. I guess it's all in the same as fashion. Is like you just have this knack for transformation. I think that was a great word, transformation. And so now, with all of the great things that you are doing, we know that business is hard business. It's hard business. So now, did you have any challenges in any of your ventures, and how did you overcome them, if you had any?
Still have challenges.
Okay.
Challenges are always going to be there.
Right.
Challenges are always going to be there. It's never going to go away. But I think the longer you're in it, the better you're able to handle them.
Right.
And being rooted and planted. Like, if you're not rooted and planted in God, like, when those winds start blowing,
right, you're in
you're
trouble.
You're gonna move. Like, you're not gonna be like a tree planted by the water.
Right.
Like, it's gonna be able to shake you. And there were times where my faith got shaken. Doubt came in or whatever. Anxiety creeped up because it was just so much going on.
Right.
And another thing I tell people is make sure, stay in your lane.
Right.
That's what has helped me
advice.
through the years. Staying in my lane. I never do things because that's the trend.
Right.
I never do things because that's what's popular.
Right.
Like, there's been many people, oh, you should do this, you should do that, but God's not telling me to do that.
Right.
So what I tell people is there is grace in your lane. If God brings you to something and it's what you're supposed to be doing, He's going to grace you for it.
That is true.
So that's what I tell people. I have a grace for what I do.
Right.
And that's what keeps me. That's what sustains me. That's how I'm able to handle it.
Right.
If I started, I can't sit here and tell you about all the challenges because there's always a challenge.
That's true. True.
But it's just seeking the Father, going into prayer. How should I handle this?
Exactly.
How should I handle this? Especially when you're dealing with people.
Right.
Wow. I'm in profession where I deal with people all the time, and people. That's the hardest profession to deal with.
Right. No, you're
because you're dealing with so many personalities.
Right.
And I'm gonna just keep it at that. You deal with a bunch of different personalities and spirits and stuff like that, and you gotta go to God and ask the wisdom to deal with it.
That is true.
But He has kept me through it all. Through the challenges, I still wouldn't change a thing. I have worked for myself since 2008.
Wow.
Never worked for anybody. So I love that because I'm able to be at my kids' basketball games.
Exactly.
I don't have to ask nobody, can I get off to
Right.
go to my kids' basketball game?
Right. Right.
You know, I'm able to be there for people and have that freedom to do what I want to do.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't change it for the world, even with the challenges.
Exactly. Yeah, I was about to say that. Right. It gives you freedom in being able to work for yourself.
Yes.
And so I think it's always such a blessing when you do have that opportunity to be in business for yourself, even though it comes with the challenges. So if you're able to withstand those challenges through the help of God, then I think you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You'll be
definitely.
okay. So what advice would you give someone who wants to, I guess, start in this industry as a salon, suites, or any business for a matter of fact?
Any business. The first thing, let's see, what would I do? Oh, one thing I always tell people is make sure you're not coming into it solely just for the money.
Oh my.
Because
we can just stay right there.
Yeah. So any business that I start, it's never about the money.
Right.
Of course, you're in business to make money, but for me, it's about how can I impact people.
Right.
How can I help people? Because the reason why I said it can't be solely about money is because when the money looks funny, what you gonna do?
Exactly.
You are gonna give up. You are gonna throw in the towel. Because there are days where you gonna have you might have 5-6 figures in the bank, and then it might be days where you only got one figure.
That is so true.
Right? You know, because it's seasons.
Exactly.
It's seasons.
Exactly.
So what I find is a lot of people give up because they're not seeing the results.
Exactly.
And, you know, of course, we live in a generation, they want microwave results.
Right.
You know,
right.
And it takes time.
That's true.
But social media has made it so that people look at the ones that have been doing it 10, 15, 20 years, and then you compare yourself to them. And you haven't even been processed.
Right.
So you're trying to jump into something and you're not ready for that. You're not going to last. Right. So first of all, do not jump into something, because I feel like that's what people do. They see an opportunity. Oh, I can make money.
Right. I agree.
Right. But you will end up with anxiety, depression, all that stuff if it's not what you're supposed to be doing.
I agree.
So, you know, I always tell people as well, start with your natural gifting.
Right.
So y'all heard a little bit of my story. I started with my natural gifting was to do hair. Like that was, I could do that with my eyes closed. So you always want to see, what is my natural gift? Right? And when you start there, then all the other doors will open up from there. You see what I'm saying? So start with your natural gifting. Don't just make it about the money. You know, what else? As far as a plan, I never had a formal business plan. I always tell, not for any business. Some people may say, oh, that's not.
Well, you know what? You not formally on paper. But you did have a plan because you were listening to the Holy Ghost.
And so that's what I tell people.
That was your plan, right?
If you want mentorship with me, it's not going to be just
paper, pencil,
because it's not even that easy or that simple. So a lot of people, oh, I need a business plan. No, you need to seek God. And the Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. So what he's saying, he's not saying write your vision.
Wow, that's good.
He's saying write the vision that I'm giving you, right? Because I tell people, he places the vision. It's God that places the vision in you. It's God that placed the vision in you, Donna, start this fashion line. Why? Because God is a God that he wants to be glorified. So when he places the vision in you, he's going to make it come to fruition so that you can give him the glory. That's how bad he wants the glory. Right? And not only that, he's going to see, can he trust you?
That is true.
Are you going to help people with this? So you're helping people even with your fashions. You're making women feel confident. You know, I'm sure you've had women come to you like down and out, or maybe just went through a divorce and want to feel better about themselves or whatever. And that's how you're able to give him the glory through what you do.
And I mean, you took the words out of my mouth, and as you were talking, I was listening. I started the business, boutique business, but I think shortly within, I say maybe about a year and so, I was like, it has to be more.
Yeah.
It has to be more. God, what else can I do? Because I felt like I was not providing value.
Yeah.
And so I heard him speak podcast. I'm like, podcast? Now, you know. You know me. This introvert, a podcast, come on now. That's a joke, right? But anyway. And so, okay. So I said, well, if you want me to do a podcast, what am I going to do a podcast? You know, I need to hear, you know, you got to help a sister out here because, I mean, I don't know. But I heard the words confidence. So I'm like, wow.
Confidence, wow.
Confidence. And so, okay, I said, I can do that because I think with fashion, we mask our inner with fashion. Nothing is wrong with that. By all means, I love what I do. But it's like, okay, what's going on in the inside?
Yeah.
We need to help the inside.
Yeah.
So that's how I started the podcast and why I started the podcast, because I felt like this will bring more value to people because I'll be able to interview others who's gone through a similar situation or going through a similar situation that's going to add more value and substance to your life or bring life to your situation.
Right. That's
And
awesome.
so that is so awesome. So while we're on the term confidence, what does confidence mean to you and how important is to have confidence?
Confidence is very important. And like you said at the beginning, I am a woman of God, so everything goes back to God for me. If I didn't know who I was in him, I wouldn't have been confident.
Right.
Before I knew who I was in him, I wasn't confident.
Okay, talk to us about that.
I wasn't confident.
Okay.
When I didn't have that relationship, when I didn't have the Holy Spirit, I didn't know who I was.
Wow.
I didn't have identity.
Right.
And matter of fact, my identity was honestly wrapped up in my gift. And that's something he dealt with me later on, because even when he brought me from behind the chair, because I heard him clear as day, you're coming from behind the chair June of 2021. He said that was going to be my last day. And so I honestly kind of went through a transitional phase because I had done that since 2006.
Right.
So my identity was somewhat wrapped up in that. So when he brought me out, I was like, okay, God, what are we doing? But he said, your identity isn't wrapped up in your gift.
Wow.
Right? So that's just a free nugget. You know, we got to make sure that we're more than that, just our gift.
Right.
Right? People knew me for that. The slaying hair and all of that. But he said, no. They need to know you as a woman of God first.
Wow.
Right? And then everything else revolves around that. So I always tell people I'm only confident because I know what God says about me. He said, you're made in my image and in my likeness.
Exactly.
If I'm made in his image and his likeness, that means that I'm dope.
Right. There you go.
That's why.
You can just drop the mic
That's
right
why
there.
I can show up like that. That's why I can show up confident. It's not me.
Exactly.
It's not. I always say it's nothing so great about me.
Exactly.
Even with everything that I do, it's nothing. If it wasn't for him, that gives me the strength, that gives me the grace, I wouldn't be able to do what I do.
Right.
So it's not until you learn your identity through Christ that you can show up with that confidence, and you won't accept the bare minimum.
Right.
I like that shirt. I rebuke the bare minimum.
Exactly.
Because that's what we
That's
do.
what we do.
We have a God that wants to give us so much.
Right.
But we accept the bare minimum because we
Exactly.
don't think we deserve it.
That is true.
So another thing I say is you'll never be able to obtain anything you can't see yourself having.
Oh my.
You won't be able to obtain it.
We need a couple more hours.
You won't be able, if you can't see yourself having it,
That is true.
you will not be able to obtain it. Right? So you got to have that confidence. Is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I'm sure you probably had to tell yourself to do this podcast. He called you to something.
Yes.
You got to know that he's going to equip you for it.
He's going to equip me for it. Exactly.
It's not about you.
Exactly. It's never about us. That's the
Never.
thing. It's never about us. We just got to step out the way and let
Move
God do
out
what
the
God
way.
does best, right?
That's how I show up. God, what we doing today?
Exactly.
What are we doing today?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think you answered my next question on, sharing how you maintain confidence, and it's just all through the grace of God. All through the grace of God.
Yeah.
All through the grace of God.
And then also though, you gain confidence by doing something more and more.
I've heard that.
So even with what you're doing, you said
right.
you were an introvert naturally, and you would never do this. But I'm sure the more and more you do it, the more confident you become. But if you don't start, you can't gain it.
That's true.
So some people allow the fear of the thing to hinder them from starting.
Right.
But you gotta. I always tell people, you just got to start.
You got to. And I think my thing is, I like perfect. I know I'm not perfect, but it has to be a certain way. And it's like, you know what?
I know how that feels.
My husband tells me this all the time. You waste too much time trying to perfect this stuff.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and do it. I'm like,
do it. Perfect it later.
And so I'm still actually learning how to do that. But doing the podcast, I'm getting more and more out of that. I'm getting out of my way because I've seen how it really jeopardized me, not only financially, but just as, relationally, so I really hindered myself. And so never do that, guys. I'm throwing that disclaimer out to you right now. As Sharmin said, just do it. Do it scared. Do it fearful, but just do it. So where can listeners find or follow you?
Y'all, I'm so bad about this. I know how to promote everything else. I know how to promote my businesses, but as far as me, like, I don't be knowing. I'm on Instagram as Sharmin Washington _. You can also follow my design page, Grace Design Co. LLC, on Instagram. And what else? The Suites, Grace Salon Suites, Low Country. And the church, Launch Activate Church.
Okay. Like I said, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about this ministry. Yes. Because there's a whole lot of questions that I have to ask you guys in reference to that. A whole lot of point of views, things I've heard. People say. But anyway, we're gonna dive deeper into that. Anyway, thank you so much for spending some time with me, and I want to thank my listening audience for being here. If you hadn't gotten a chance to check out any of my other podcasts, feel free to check it out on Spotify. I also have the link in the comment section. I will have to say that I have some amazing guests. One of my favorite was Blogging, Influencing, and Thrifting with Wendy Dorellis Joseph. So just check it out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And to shop our collection, you can visit donnamcollection.shop. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us at info@donnamcollection.shop. And remember, fashion is the armor to survive the reality of life, and every day is a chance to be better.